Breaking news. As I watched TV, I was stunned by the switched screen. No way. There is a hostage situation. The scene being broadcasted from above was my husband's workplace. I hastily called my husband. Alec, are you okay? Are you safe?
Huh? What's going on? I'm at work right now.
What? What about the hostage situation? My name is Beth. I work as a research staff at a certain scientific company. It has been 6 months since I got married to Alec. I met Alec at a mixer organized by my boss. Due to my upbringing by education-focused parents since childhood, studying became my everything. As a result, I was completely immersed in research until I graduated from graduate school. Identifying problems, approaching them in various ways, and seeking answers based on records and results were incredibly enjoyable for me. That alone made my day fulfilling. During my 6 years in university, almost every day was spent in that state, which resulted in good grades. However, fashion and romantic affairs were far from my reach. Expand your horizons and delve into things beyond research, my boss Gianna would tell me. And so, she organized the mixer for me. To be honest, I wasn't enthusiastic about it at first. Just because I had a negative experience participating in a student mixer once during my student days. At that time, I was indirectly called a geek or a nerd just because I was a science major. In reality, I didn't know what to talk about, and I lacked any kind of charm compared to other girls. Looking back now, I could have handled the situation better, but I was still hurt by it. So, I wasn't particularly eager to attend the mixer that Gina invited me to. But I didn't have the courage to refuse the invitation from Gianna, whom I admired. She excelled at work and had the trust of her subordinates. Moreover, she had rich experience in relationships and seemed perfect to me, both as a researcher and as a woman. And that's how I ended up participating in the mixer. The men I interacted with at the mixer were individuals from a promising venture company, and Alec was one of them. As I had become a working professional myself, I wasn't silent and didn't refrain from talking like before. After participating in the conversation for a while, Alec approached me personally. At that moment, I braced myself, fearing that I might get hurt again, but it turned out to be needless worry. Alec listened attentively to what I had to say. He praised me for my ability to immerse myself in one thing for a long time, calling it an unremarkable talent. It was the first time someone had said such things to me, and I quickly found myself drawn to Alec. And so, we went on several dates, started dating, and eventually got married. For a while, we enjoyed happy days. But around 6 months into our marriage, Alec's attitude started becoming cold. When we started living together, he used to help with household chores and often thanked me for what I did. However, recently, those things have become rare. Moreover, Alec has been constantly working overtime and even on holidays, leaving us with no time to talk and relax together. Considering that he works for a venture company, I thought it was understandable for him to be busy at times. I also had the notion that men generally don't do housework, so I didn't pay much attention to it. However, lately, he has been coming home with the smell of alcohol and women's perfume, and it's starting to worry me a little. One day, unable to bear the loneliness and anxiety of infidelity any longer, I gathered my courage and asked Alec about it. Hey, you've been coming home late recently, haven't you? I just want a little more time for the two of us.
Huh? What?
You often come home with the smell of alcohol and perfume. You're not cheating on me, right? I spoke to Alec as he was changing clothes after coming back from work. Then Alec turned around with a frustrated look and loudly accused me.
Don't you understand that this is an important time for the company?
I have to accompany clients for business entertainment.
Even though I don't want to.
I have to drink even when I don't want to.
And yet, you.
How dare you suspect me of cheating when I'm working hard?
It seems like you've lost your compassion for others. Being too absorbed in your studies. You are a failure as a wife.
Honestly, I didn't expect to hear such harsh words. However, judging from his words, it's clear that my husband is under a lot of stress. My lack of dating experience must have angered him. I immediately felt remorse and apologized multiple times. But since then, Alex's attitude has become even colder than before. After some time had passed, there was a day when I had the day off from work. Alec had left for work early in the morning. While folding laundry and watching a daytime talk show on TV, an emergency news alert suddenly sounded. I stopped what I was doing and turned to face the TV, wondering what could be happening. But as I looked at the screen, I froze. The news reported that an intruder had entered Alex's company and was holding people hostage. I couldn't believe that such an incident was happening at my husband's workplace. Through the office window, I caught a glimpse of someone who appeared to be hostage taker, shouting something while holding employees captive. Witnessing such a surreal scene, I became worried about Alex's safety. I immediately called Alex's cell phone. The phone rang several times, but he didn't answer. It was only after several more attempts that I finally heard Alex's voice on the other end of the line. Alec, thank God! Where are you right now? Are you okay? There was a brief pause, and then I heard Alex's voice coming from my phone.
What do you mean where I am? Obviously, I'm at work.
At work? Then how's the situation over there? At the very moment, Alex's company was being covered by the media due to the hostage situation. Could it be that he was being forced to say that? I asked cautiously. Are you in a hostage situation by any chance? Then I heard a frantic voice from Alec.
What? Hostage?
There was a moment of silence. However, that silence was broken in an instant, and Alec quickly corrected himself.
No. By work, I mean the client's company. I'm there right now.
Huh? So you're not at your company?
No. I'm not involved in the hostage situation. I just found out about it from the news. Yeah, sorry for making you worry. Don't worry about me. Things might get busy from now on, so I'll hang up for now.
After saying those words, Alec hung up the phone. I felt a slight sense of unease. Could it be possible that he knows less about the situation than I do, even though he's at the client's company? If he's in a meeting, it would be difficult for him to answer my call. When Alec returns home, he might scold me again, but I decided to ask him about this unease. For now, I decided to watch the progress of the incident on TV. In the evening, the hostage situation was successfully resolved. Miraculously, no one was injured. Just around that time, Alec returned home. I immediately tried to ask him about the incident and the sense of unease, but Alec suddenly hugged me.
Thank you for worrying about me today, Beth. If you hadn't called, I might have been really anxious. I'm really glad I married you, Beth.
Surprised, I looked at him, and he continued.
And I'm sorry about the other day. It was terrible of me to take it out on you.
Alec?
I said awful things. But, Beth, you're really important to me.
After saying that, he let go and headed to the kitchen, serving the dish I had cooked onto the table.
Beth, take it easy today. As a token of my appreciation, I'll handle the chores today.
It had been so long since Alec had spoken kindly to me. He had never apologized whether he went to the bar and returned drunk or not. I was so happy that Alec was helping with the housework and praising me that I had completely forgotten about talking about the incident. The next day, when I went to the office and started working as usual, Gianna approached me. Did something good happen? It seemed like I had a happier expression than usual. It's embarrassing that I unconsciously showed on my face. While thinking about that, I decided to tell Gianna everything about what happened yesterday. After hearing everything, Gianna had a puzzled look on her face. Did I explain something weirdly? Unexpectedly, Gianna uttered words that caught me off guard. Beth, are you sure everything is okay? Okay? What do you mean? Upon asking that, Gianna started speaking with an apologetic tone. Aren't you being manipulated or deceived in some way? Usually, when a man suddenly becomes kind, it's because he's hiding something, like cheating or debts. It's not that, right? I became irritated by the words I hadn't expected to hear. Alec is not that kind of person. Maybe the men you've dated in the past were like that, but with my unexpected retort, Gianna had a look of uneasy. That expression irritated me even more, and I ended up snapping at Gianna. Meeting Alec was thanks to you, but Gianna, you are an outsider. So please don't meddle in our business too much. Oh, sorry. I apologize. After hearing my words, Gianna had a slightly sad expression and left the scene. Since that day, Gianna frequently took days off from work. Maybe it's because of me, I thought. Several days have passed since that day, and I am aware that I said something excessive. I occasionally see Gianna at the office, and I want to apologize, but I don't know how to approach her, so we can only have professional conversations. While thinking that I needed to do something about this situation, I was called by Gianna, who said she had something to give me. Since that incident, Alec and I had returned to our usual distant relationship. The embrace and happiness from that day felt like a lie. Suddenly, we received a call from my parents-in-law, asking us to come to their house because they wanted to talk. Alec and I headed to my in-laws' house in a car. Even in a car, we hardly had any conversation. We were led to the living room at my in-laws' house. Then, we were informed by my father-in-law that he had been diagnosed with a progressive illness and that he would gradually require caregiving. My mother-in-law is also getting older, and it would be difficult for her to take care of my father-in-law alone. They wanted Alec to help as much as possible. Upon hearing that, Alec opened his mouth with a look of annoyance. Caregiving, huh? Well, I'm quite busy with work, you know. Why don't you just leave it all to Beth? Huh? I mean, it doesn't seem like she has much important work to do anyway. If needed, she could even stay here, and I wouldn't be bothered by it. To say such things in front of one's own parents, I couldn't believe it. just as I was feeling incredulous, my father-in-law spoke up.
It's true that having more people to help would be ideal. But isn't Beth busy herself? I don't know the details, but I heard that Beth's company recently made a groundbreaking invention or something. It seems they're achieving great success because of it. Alec, you can't possibly be unaware of that, can you?
Alec glared at me. What my father-in-law said was true. It must have been through his research on his own illness that he came across the information about my company's medical invention.
What? This is the first time I'm hearing about it. If my father knows it, and I don't, what's wrong with me? The husband.
Hey, Beth, don't embarrass me in front of my parents. Though Alec's voice was restrained due to being in front of his parents, there was clearly anger behind his words. Alec, with his prideful nature, seemed displeased that he was the only one aware of something. Considering it a good opportunity, I decided to counterattack and face him. Why you didn't know? Well, maybe it's because you are hardly ever at home. We don't have any time together. And maybe it's because you are cheating on me. My unexpected words left my in-laws speechless.
Oh, what nonsense are you spouting? Making such boring jokes in front of my parents?
I, too, had reached a point of no return. Boring joke? If it were just a joke, I wish it were. Then, how about this? Saying that, I took an envelope out of my bag and spread its contents on the table. Inside were pictures of Alex entering hotels with various women and engaging in intimate moments in cars. These were all obtained through a private investigator I had hired. The trigger for me to make the request was Gianna. The reason Gianna had been frequently absent from work was because she was independently investigating Alec. As a result, Gianna witnessed Alec entering hotels with other women, not just once or twice. At that moment, Gianna captured the scene on her phone and showed it to me. From Gianna's perspective, Alex's behavior seemed suspicious. She expressed that she didn't want to see me being deceived by such a man. Now that I had been shown undeniable evidence, I couldn't escape from reality anymore. Thanks to Gianna, I also decided to thoroughly investigate Alex's infidelity by hiring a private investigator. The results revealed that he had been cheating on me with multiple women. I even found out that he had been bad-mouthing me to his mistresses. By the way, how did I come to know about this? It was because one of his mistresses sold Alec in exchange for reducing the amount of compensation she would receive. It seems that she wasn't really serious about Alec. My in-laws sitting in front of me were in shock and started breaking down in tears. I told Alec about divorce and alimony.
Wait!
It's not like that. Alec began pleading for forgiveness.
I wasn't serious. She was the one who approached me. Besides, I had been drinking, so I wasn't in a sound state of mind. You're the only one I truly love, you know. Beth, you're smarter than me, so you should know I mean this, right?
Who is he trying to convince with those shabby words? This man completely underestimates women. But it's about time for him to face the consequences. I'm not your maid or your servant. It's all over now. With those words, I left Alec behind and left my in-laws' house. After sending a certified letter to his company, Alec was fired. The women he had been cheating with were all hostesses who were mainly interested in receiving lavish gifts from him. They quickly disappeared from Alex's life after paying me the compensation without any resistance. Alec, who lost his job, seemed to have returned his parents' house. He started working at a local factory during the day and took care of his father as a condition for his parents to partially cover the compensation. Living with his parents must be unbearable for Alec, who had been working solely for money, alcohol, and women. I apologized and expressed my gratitude to Gianna once again. I also took the opportunity to ask her why she had gone to such length for me. And she said, "Whenever I see you, Beth, it reminds me of my past self." Huh? Beth, you may think I'm experienced, but I wasn't always like that. I've fallen for bad men too, you know. In my case, it wasn't infidelity, but being burdened with debt. That's why I felt like I had to help you somehow.
I see. I didn't know that. I'm truly sorry, Gianna.
Apologies are unnecessary. It's ultimately just self-satisfaction for both of us. I began to respect Gianna even more for who she was. Since then, I started learning from Gianna about makeup, fashion, and more. I expanded my horizons beyond just my research. I must say, I have transformed and become more beautiful than before. When I go out with Gianna to bars or clubs, I'm not surprised when guys approach me. I see this as a great opportunity to develop my ability to judge men. Whether it's research or love, sometimes widening our perspective can lead to unexpected positive outcomes. Perhaps life itself is one grand study. From now on, I will continue my research diligently and stay true to myself.